Hello everyone. In this video, we are talking about top 10 configure to order manufacturing ERP systems in 2025. So let's dive right in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
My name is Sam Gupta. I'm principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent, vendor-agnostic ERP CRM digital transformation consulting firm. We help our clients with digital transformation strategy, change management, and technology procurement. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is the top 10 configure to order manufacturing ERP systems in 2025. We have published this list for the last couple of years. Again, the goal of this episode is going to be to cover any sort of updates that we have. Sometimes we do change some rankings, but they might not always change in a very short time, that is a year in this particular case. But we try to capture the majority of the updates. So again, our recommendation always is going to be to review the most recent episode as opposed to looking at the older episodes. So now when we look at the CTO industries, and CTO is a very unique vertical. Obviously, these companies are going to require some sort of configurable product. Configurability, from the process perspective. So basically, the whole intent of configurability is going to be that you are configuring these products and you are quoting them as the configured products, as opposed to doing something like engineer to order. In those cases, you are not necessarily going to configure these products as part of your estimation process. In some cases, the whole idea of configurability might be internal. In other cases, that may be external, meaning the external either customers or your sales reps are quoting externally as opposed to doing that as part of your CAD, PLM, or the engineering or ERP centric processes. So again, configuration may have many different flavors. One configuration could be embedded as part of ERP. The other could be e-commerce. The other could be your PLM CAD. They also expose a lot of different configurable aspects of the process. So depending upon how you want to expose your configurability. Now, when you look at different types of the products or projects that you might be producing, for example, the parts, the machines, the equipments, the services, they each may have different requirements for configurability. Some configurator may be able to support all of them. Some might be unique to one of these. And in most cases, people get confused when they look at a CPQ. They are always going to say that or assume that the CPQ may be able to configure pretty much everything, but sometimes it does come across as shoehorning. So that's where you need to pay close attention to where these CPQ products are going to be natural fit for which specific process type and product type. So that's where the real differentiator is. And we'll be touching these differentiators as we touch each of the product on this list. In general, the criteria that we have used to compile this list is the product share acquisition strategy focused on configure to order industries, product roadmap community, ecosystem, win rate, technology. Now we are looking at a lot of AI centric updates and capabilities as well. But for this year, that's slightly lighter. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is Rootstock, and Rootstock is relevant for slightly smaller configure to order companies. And generally, when you look at the configurator, it does rely on Salesforce-centric configurator, or there are going to be many different configurators that are going to be in the Salesforce ecosystem. But when you look at the native capabilities, they might not have as deep native capabilities to be able to support all of those different product types, as well as processes that I mentioned towards the beginning of the episode. So overall strength. So even though they are going to have native integration with Salesforce CPQ and other Salesforce products, but sometimes the experience may not be as natural. You might run into a lot of different integration issues. So that's where the real play is. If something is going to be integrated, built as part of the suite itself, generally that is going to provide much better experience when you are going to either implement or use these products. So again, Rootstock is a great product. It's just that they don't have these configurable processes baked as part of their model. So that's the only challenge with Rootstock. But overall, when you look at the ERP layers as well as the product model, that is very well aligned to support configurable products. That's why they are able to work with the other third-party products. But for the most part, they are probably going to require third-party products. Even for their CAD integration, they will require third-party products. It's not baked as part of the suite. And sometimes when you want your favorite CAD product or PLM product, as well as the integration, if you have those constraints, then whatever is going to be provided as part of the suite may not be as relevant for you anyways. And in this case, it does not provide that. So Rootstock may be a slightly better fit when you are exploring the best of breed scenarios. Now, the limitations to keep in mind is overall, some of these configurable products are going to be very long-standing projects. If that is the case, and generally that sort of overlaps with the project manufacturing capabilities as well. But for the most part, this list is really for the configure to order products. So we are simply looking at that. So when you are going to get into these long-standing projects, some of the capabilities might be limited with Rootstock. For example, WBS-centric capabilities or the milestone-centric capabilities, they are not as baked as of today. They are working on that. So hopefully that changes in the next few years. But as of today, they are not as strong. They don't have as native configurator integration. So that's going to be another limitation. And the natively integrated PLM CAD with some of the other products that we have on this list, they might be able to support that. So that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. When you compare Rootstock with Oracle Cloud ERP, as far as the scope of configure to order goes, then Oracle Cloud ERP is going to be much larger product. Companies are going to utilize generally to consolidate your global workloads. They might not necessarily acquire this for the deep down plant-centric capabilities or the operational capabilities. So when you are trying to marry a lot of different business models as part of the same ERP, in those cases, Oracle Cloud ERP is going to be a better fit. It is going to provide the core, and then you can augment that with third-party add-ons, as well as some of the customization, etc. So in general, that is going to be far complex model. It's going to be far more expensive, etc. The strengths from the Oracle perspective is overall the ERP layers, the financial layer. So if you are a very large company, this could be a great fit. And it's proven with very large company. So again, the transactional workload increases with the size of the company as well. So if you are very large, then obviously you should be looking at that. The smaller products might not be as relevant for you. And overall, their ecosystem is very strong with a lot of different SIs, large accounting firms, etc. So that's going to be a huge plus as well. Some limitations to keep in mind. Again, when you look at the real configurator integrations, even though they are going to provide a CPQ, but CPQ might not be relevant for the real configure to order centric verticals. Their CPQ does really well in telecom, media centric verticals. They have a lot of logos there. But when you talk about the CTO manufacturing centric verticals, it may require a lot more heavy lifting in general to configure to customize for these spaces. And again, when you look at the suite, it's not going to be as natural as what you are going to find with the other products. When it comes to their PLM CAD, they might not even have that as part of the suite. Other products are going to support that. And obviously, it's probably going to be very overwhelming for SMB companies. It might be expensive as well. So that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Acumatica, and the right comparison for Acumatica is probably going to be Rootstock Oracle Cloud ERP is going to be a much larger product. So from the Acumatica's perspective, obviously their ecosystem is very strong. You are going to find a lot of different add-ons that you can augment on top of Acumatica. Acumatica also has a configurator, but that configurator is not going to be as scalable to support some of the very complex configuration processes. For example, let's say if you are looking for the whole 3D view, from the configuration perspective, you are trying to enable that from the customer experience perspective for commerce scenarios. Acumatica may be able to integrate with a lot of different third-party e-commerce providers, but they might not be able to do that natively as part of their product. And overall, I guess the underlying layers are strong, so they can support configure to order centric processes. For example, when you look at subassemblies or Phantom, the way their model is designed, it's very scalable in general. And the other advantage that you have from the Acumatica's perspective, so other than CTO companies, and no companies are really going to be pure play CTO. They are going to have flavors of other business models. For example, sometimes they might have field service processes, or they might have distribution processes. Some other products may require an add-on for these processes. Acumatica can host that as part of the same product, same database. So if you're looking to consolidate all of that, then Acumatica is probably going to be a better fit. Other limitations: overall, their global capabilities are going to be limited. So if you are buying a product for global consolidation, this may not be the best. And overall, you might require a lot more add-ons. So sometimes that does increase the vendor and the implementation risk. So that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O, or Finance and Supply Chain is the new name for this product. So it is ideal for any of the mid-market to large companies, and this is going to be very similar to your SAP S/4HANA, Oracle Cloud ERP, just because the product model is very large. In general, Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O is going to rely on a lot of different third-party add-ons for the majority of the configuration processes. So you increase the vendor risk. Natively, they are not going to support the majority of the configuration process, with the only exception being the core product model, which is very well designed to support the majority of the configuration scenarios. But again, you are relying on third-party products. So that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is SAP S/4HANA. SAP S/4HANA is also very similar product as your Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O or your Oracle Cloud ERP. Generally, the majority of the configure-to-order companies, when they are going to be large, then they will buy something like SAP S/4HANA to consolidate these entities. From the financial consolidation perspective, they might use other products or other add-ons at the plant level for the deeper operational capabilities for each specific business model. So pure play configure to order, they might not be as deep. Again, some strengths from SAP S/4HANA perspective is those financial layers, core ERP layers, they are going to be very strong. The core planning scenarios are going to be very strong. From the product perspective, they are going to be a lot more proven with the larger logos. Some limitations are going to be, it's probably not as relevant for the SMB CTO companies. And again, when you look at the suite capabilities from the CTO perspective, they are not going to be as deep. So that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is Dalmia Works, which is IQMS. Now, IQMS is a very unique product because it is owned by a company that also owns SolidWorks. And generally, in this particular case, when you look at the CTO-centric business model, when you want 2 or 3 different scenarios where you have the ERP-centric configuration, you have CAD-centric configuration, and that CAD is also exposed to your customers so that they can collaborate during your estimation process. If you are going to have all of those scenarios, then IQMS is going to be a better fit because it is going to provide everything integrated as part of the suite. So this is going to be a real difference between this product versus the other products that we have reviewed on this list. So some of the strengths: engineering friendly BOM structure is probably going to be far stronger in general. And the synergies between SolidWorks and the ERP product, they are far more baked out of the box as compared to the other products. And it is also proven among the engineering centric CTOs. So that's going to be a huge plus. Some limitations to keep in mind overall, since this is a very prescriptive product for very specific product types, for very specific manufacturing types, that means it is not going to be as diverse. Meaning, tomorrow, if you change your business model, then you might struggle in adopting that, or you might need to change your ERP to support all of that. Overall, their ecosystem is not as strong as compared to the other products. So, those are some of the limitations, and that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is IFS, and IFS would also fall under that prescriptive product. They do really well in the project-centric, asset-heavy field service configure to order companies. And in this particular case, if you are going to have very complex configurable products or projects that you are trying to deliver, if that is the case, then IFS is probably going to be a better fit. But along with that, let's say if you have the field service processes that are going to be extremely enterprise grade, as well as you are very asset heavy, in those cases, IFS is probably going to be a great fit. But overall, the product is not going to be as diverse as with any of the other prescriptive products, and you might not have these capabilities baked as part of the suite the way your IQMS product is going to be, or Infor-LN product is going to be. So overall, in terms of the last mile capabilities, it might not be as strong. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Appicore Kinetic. And Appicore Kinetic was meant for more engineer to order centric companies, but recently they have acquired a CPQ product. That CPQ product may not be as scalable, but it's far more user friendly. So if you have very complex engineering centric products where you require very deep scalable layers, if you have that, then you might struggle a little bit. You might need to find workarounds to be able to manage inside Appicore Kinetic. But if you're looking for a product that is going to be easier to use, easier to maintain, it is not going to require as much consulting support, then Appicore Kinetic is probably going to be a better fit for those configurator scenarios. And overall, from the product perspective, some of the elements that are unique to Appicore Kinetic, they are relevant for the configure to order centric processes as well. For example, complex inventory revision number mandate that they have, that's going to be uniquely applicable for some of the CTO companies. For example, let's say if you're looking for aerospace metal centric verticals, in those Appicore Kinetic does really well. Some limitations to keep in mind overall, their financial state and the embeddedness of their financial state, as well as the scalability of the financial processes. That's where companies are going to struggle with Appicore. That's where they need to find a lot of workarounds. It might not be as natural as some of the other larger products. And that's why sometimes Appicore Kinetic may be adopted with the larger organizations, but for the most part, their play is really in among the SMB companies. And overall, ecosystem is going to be weaker as well, just because, again, they like to host the professional services internally. So you are not going to find as many companies consulting on this particular product. So that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite Industrial Sightline. And Infor Cloud Suite Industrial Sightline is a very similar product as your Appicore Kinetic. Overall, from the CTO perspective, which is going to be your configure to order, and for this specific need, the configurator that they are using is very similar to your Infor-LN, which is their larger product position for upper mid-market enterprise-centric companies, but they both use the same configurator. So for the smaller companies, number 1, you are going to get scalability. If your product is going to be highly engineered, highly configurable, if you have that, then this is going to be a great, better fit. But at the same time, you are probably going to require a lot more consulting support for the product because it is not easier to use. So depending upon your use case, do you care more for the scalability or do you care more for ease of use? And then you need to make a choice whether Epicor Kinetic is going to be a better fit for you, or Enforce CSI Sightline would be a better fit for you. Overall, the model is slightly fluid. From the Enforce CSI perspective, it can support both formal, informal processes. Some companies like formal processes because they might be mandated by their OEMs. In other cases, they like flexibility. So depending upon what you care for, but with Infor Cloud Suite Industrial, you are going to get flexibility with the manufacturing processes. And some other limitations in some verticals, let's say if you have the phantoms for parts without part number, those may not be as well supported by Infor Cloud Suite Industrial Sightline. Other products, for example, Epicor Kinetic, may be able to support that. So that's going to be a little limitation with Enforce CSI, and that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite LN, and Infor Cloud Suite LN generally overcomes a lot of deficiency that your Enforce CSI or Epicor Kinetic are going to have, at least from the global footprint perspective. So for example, it is going to be much stronger from the global trade, global compliance perspective. The kind of processes it is going to have, it is designed to consolidate a lot of different manufacturing modes globally. When you are doing global trade, you are not limited to a couple of countries. In those cases, Infor Cloud Suite LN is probably going to be a superior product. Some other strengths to keep in mind, again, the configurator that it has, it is the enterprise grade. It can cover all of those scenarios that I had mentioned in the beginning. Other products on this list may struggle with some of those, but Infor Cloud Suite LN configurator is designed to support all of those scenarios, whether you are looking at configurability from the service perspective, from the product, from e-commerce, ERP, PLM, CAD, all of those scenarios can be covered by this configurator, as well as the same configurator that is also used by the CSI product. Some limitations to keep in mind is, again, the maintainability and the maintenance that is going to be required to maintain this configurator, because it is enterprise grade and that will require some consulting support. The other products may be slightly easier to use, and this is probably going to be expensive for SMBs, and ecosystem is probably going to be limited as well. So that's number 1. If you enjoyed this video, we are also going to include a detailed report that is going to have much deeper analysis. So you might want to check that link that is going to be included below. We publish these videos on a weekly basis on our YouTube channel, so you might want to subscribe to that. This podcast is also available in the audio form on major podcasting channels. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.